Oh, okay. I think it's working. My apologies if I was just sitting here, but I'm watching the delay again. I came on about 5 minutes early here just to test everything out to make sure that it was running smooth, but it seems that I'm not moving on the other side at all. Okay, so now I'm moving. I think everything's going, so I expect more people to show up in about 5 minutes. So just go ahead and start chatting. I'll see if I can get in here too. Yeah, so if it freezes, hopefully it will buffer and just return. And what I was hoping to do today was we could do face-to-face chat, of course, because that's what we're here for, chatting. Um, but also I did put on the koala tea page, which is what this is mainly for. Anyone is welcome to join. I'm not going to turn anyone away. But I did post on there that we were going live on YouTube, that it would be tonight from 6 till 7, and that they were welcome to come over, that I would show a tutorial for the pop and twist card. So if you're interested in doing the pop and twist card, I can certainly do that. If the audience that shows up tonight is not interested in that, then we'll just skip it and chat about what you guys want to chat about. Yay, we're moving now, she said. Excellent. So I have a couple of people that are in the chat, but it says that only one is watching, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if I still have a couple of you guys here or not, but I'm gonna wait, another 4 minutes or so until the actual time that we had stated, to give a chance for more people to join. And then I'm laughing at May's comment. She said, "Oh, you're moving now," and then she said, "Yes." Hi, Debbie. So Deb's here, May's here. It says that Heidi is here, Tangela is here, and I think that's it. So, but I only show two watching, so I'm not sure how reliable that's going to be. So I should probably clear my desk. So I'll be doing that on this desk, and I'll just at that point I'll have to tilt the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm so glad some of you guys showed up. That's so fun. So since we have an hour, we might play around with a couple of different ways to do that pop and twist card ways. This is using a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, but I did not do it this way on my video. And then the smaller version was the one that I showed, is this one. So it still looks to me like it's still going in and out. Um, it says the stream has resumed, so hopefully, like last time, it will um, come in and out and then eventually even off and just stay on, because that's what happened last time. Tell me what you guys are drinking. Normally you would see me drinking Diet Mountain Dew, which is my ultimate favorite. But I'm getting back to, and I mentioned in my last video, back to a healthier eating pattern. And I decided to switch over to sparkling water and regular water. And so this is what I'm drinking today. And I got this from Aldi. So it's unsweetened, there's no calories, there's no sodium. There's really nothing in it. It's just filtered carbonated water and a natural flavor. That's all it is. So in the comments, tell me what you're drinking. Or what is your favorite time drinking? Okay, so Heidi says she's having a hard time hearing me. Is it her computer or or my mic. Let me know if you guys are having a hard time hearing me too, so I can let her know. Or, type it in. She can read that too, I think. So it was told to me that some people can actually watch the live stream, but they can't comment. So they're either on like a phone or a tablet, some other kind of a mobile thing. So um, I know that they're listening and they want to say stuff, but they just simply can't. Okay, so um, May says that she can hear me just fine. I'm using the same setup that I did last time, so I don't think it's me, but that doesn't mean it's not user error. I could have bumped a setting or who knows what. Okay, I'm just going to assume that. Okay, I'm just going to assume that if my OBS is working, that I'm still streaming, because otherwise I'm sitting here chewing on my fingernail and doing something, and that's boring for you. And I'd like to get going on showing you how to make these cards as well. See, so now I had 7 watching, now I only have 4, and I think it's because YouTube just keeps bouncing me on and off. It says the stream is now resumed. This is really frustrating. So you can't just say I'm going to be live for an hour, because you never know whether anything's going to work or not. And that is, it's all locked up on my end now. And Google Chrome is not responding, so maybe I should pick something other than that. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to type some things to you guys in case you're getting nothing from me otherwise. I just, ugh. This is really frustrating. Okay, so Janie said that I keep going offline and she keeps refreshing, but it goes back to where it started from. So I don't know what to do about that. Okay, stream is going just fine. So do we want to attempt do we want to attempt to do this card? I'm gonna move you guys over to the desk then, but if I do that I won't be able to see the computer very well. Let me hook up this other thing. We're gonna make this happen. And I might make some of you guys sick, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this face down so that we can do the tutorial. I am so sorry if I made you guys seriously ill. That is the best I can do. I was really hoping for something better. So I really want to experiment with this piece because this is the piece that I used in my video. Yes, it seems to be working better now. Okay, excellent. Let's do this piece first. Let's try this one. So if you want to walk through this with me, you can. If you're just watching to see how it goes, that's totally fine too. I'm going to follow this one. This is not one I've done before. I certainly didn't do a video on this one, but I think we can make it work. So it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to follow what's on here, but I'm going to use a new piece of paper. So it seems to me it took at least 10 minutes for us to keep moving to get a solid stream here. I'll try to keep that in mind. So what these directions say is this short way, just this small part right here. And it looks like I should make it maybe a tiny bit smaller. So what we've done so far, let me go back to this. I'm sorry, I'm feeling discombobulated because of the way this thing keeps shutting off and back on you guys. So I feel bad. So we did a 3 and a 7/8, 5 and 3/8, and 6 and 7/8. And now we're going to turn the paper the long way. Okay, and these are 2 1/4. Okay, 2 1/4. And 4 1/4. And then 6 1/4. So now you're left with that. You've got like a 4 square grid in the middle. And then we don't need this one, this whole, I'm going to do the X from line to line. We don't need this one. See, so there's a lot that you cut off, which is why I didn't go with the bigger one in my video. All these 4 that I'm Xing right now, we're just going to end up cutting all this off. So see where the 4 X's are? We're chopping that off, people. You can use a cutter if you want, but I'm just going to use my scissors. Hi, Jody. Hey, Tangela. Hi, Debbie. I'm going to try to get a chance to say hi to most people that stop in. You can see by how slow this is going that when I do my videos, there's a lot of thinking that's involved in getting tutorial videos set up for you guys to make sure that I'm skipping out parts that are boring and making this super quick, because long tutorials get kind of dull. But since we have the time here, I'm just taking my time. Got one more to go. Comment in that section if you guys are trying to do this with me. I'd like to know if I should slow down and let you guys keep up with me, or if I should just keep moving. Okay, so this is what we're left with. A piece that looks like this with the 4 squares in the middle here. And then, gosh, I hope I have my other paper that tells me how to finish this off. And then we're taking, if I lay this on here, we're just cutting off a little bit on either side of these ones right here. I'm going to use a longer scissors here. So we're just kind of cutting off a corner of these that come down. They remind me of buck teeth. We're making little buck teeth here on either side. Oh, awesome. May's going to do this with me. Thanks, May. Super appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, and so that's what I've done so far, is cut off those little edges here. That's all I have on this piece of paper. Let's see what else we got here. So this is basically what that was in my video, was this one. So I believe we need to make, an X here. You know what? I think I failed to write down the rest of this one because I swapped to the other one. Let me dig through my papers here quick. Make sure that I didn't misplace it. If I did, we'll go back to the small one and I'll show you how to do that one again. Oh, awesome! May's stuff arrived, so now she can create her card. That's super. Well, I apparently didn't write down the rest of the directions to that big card. What the heck? I thought I did. Nope, I hate to disappoint you, May, but I think we're going to have to stop there. This was one that May made, so if you want to go check out her video, she finishes this off. I'm almost positive you just put your X here. I don't want to ruin it though. Let's get back and do this one. So this piece is 8.5 by 3. If anyone else besides May was following me along, I'm so sorry that didn't work out. I thought I had all the directions written down, but apparently when I switched over to doing this one for my video, I let that go. I often do that because when I'm prepping for a video, I'm looking for the quickest, easiest way to present that information in the clearest way possible so that anyone and everyone that watches the video can make it if they want. So let's switch back to this one because it's so super simple. If you take a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and just cut off 3 inches, that's how you get this. It's 3 inches by 8.5. Okay, don't cut it the 11-inch way. Or it'll be way too long. However, you do need one piece that is 11 inches, only not quite as long. May, let me know, did you make the one with me on my video? And if you did you make it at exactly 11 inches? The reason why I want to know that is because mine ended up being a little bit too long. I know I have it laying around here. Let me show you what I mean. My card ended up having a little extra hanging out the end of it. So it was this one. So after I put everything together, it had a little bit hanging out here. And I was just going to cut that off because to me that's no big deal. But I think we can remedy that because it's this piece right here. I think we can remedy that by making this piece right here just a little bit smaller. Oh, this is what we're creating. And they did it slightly different in the class that I took. And I didn't do it her way, but this is the one that I made in the class. And when hers comes down, there's an actual extra like 1/4 inch here. Let me measure this. Yeah. So hers is only 10 inches long by 3.5. So it's even wider, but her card, let's see how big her card base is. Her card base is 5.5 by 4. 5.5 by 4. Yeah, that's right. So 5.5 by 4. Her mechanism looks the same. Although I hate to undo it, but let's see if we can measure her mechanism and see if it's the same width as ours. Her mechanism is 8 inches long. Okay, so hers is only 8 by maybe, it's an odd, wow, it's a really odd number. I wonder how close I can get that to you. We're not measuring the whole card, we're just measuring the insert. I don't know if you can, how well you can see that. Do you see how it's not even quite 3.5? It's a really odd measurement there. But she had all of these pieces, including the piece underneath and the pieces on top, and all this all pre-cut for us. So we didn't cut any of this. We didn't cut or measure a thing. So I didn't take my tutorial from this. I took it from May Made It, which is where I got this simplified one from. Okay, so I made this one 10 by 3 instead of 11 by 3, even though hers is 3.5. Let's try that and see if that works. And hers is marked at, I want to see what she scored hers at, 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Okay, so take your panel here. This is going to be your inside panel. We cut it down to 10 by 3. And go ahead and score it. I'll tell you those score marks one more time. So we'll score it at 2.5, 5, and 7.5. 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Then we'll leave everything else as is and see if that solves our hanging over problem. And in case you're just joining in, this is the hanging over problem right here. This extra little piece. Okay, so we've got this scored. This is going to be our inside. I'm just going to go ahead and fold mine. Okay, so that's how we're going to glue it on. And then we're going to do this piece right here. So we're going to leave this 8.5 by 3, like I originally said, and see how that goes. I'm not getting any other comments, so I'm just going to keep going, you guys. This is, if we put this the long way, there's one score at 1.5, straight down the middle. Hi, Catherine. There was no link in. No, I just kind of assumed everyone knew how to find me, didn't I? If anyone has a chance to go back to Quality Crafts and add the YouTube link, I would be forever grateful. This is my second time doing the live thing for the YouTube, and then also for Quality Crafts. So pardon all my mistakes and how I'm working things out, but these are only going to get better and better, I promise. All right, so for who's following along, we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 2 3/4 and 5 3/4. And then we have to do the little X in the middle here. So I have a pencil mark down one of my lines so that when I line up these two marks here, I can see at the bottom which line I'm looking at. Otherwise, it'd just be totally a shot in the dark. And then I'm going to tilt it the other way and do exactly the same thing. May, do you have something like this? Is this how you got your line, your X's, or did you just fold the paper? I'm curious to know if you guys have a black line on your scoreboard or not. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. Some people just don't like to make their board dirty, but I find that there are other things that use a line like this, and I really like it. So now that we have all those scored, I'm just going to go ahead and bend all my score marks. So if you're just coming in, we are remaking this card that I did a tutorial on, but we have a hanging over part right here, and we're trying to adjust it to fix that. So we did the mechanism exactly the same, but we changed our inner piece. We left it 3 inches wide so it would cover it, but we made it shorter. Instead of 11, we made it 10 inches, and then we scored at 2.5, 5, and 7.5. So we're going to try to see if making this just a little bit smaller on the inside. What I'm talking about is this right here, to see if that won't hang over the edge. So we finished making the inner part here. We finished making this part right here. We just have to make sure that we push in our sides and make it collapse on itself like this. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay. So once you get it to start collapsing, you got to push the roof together. So that it looks like a little house. Just like this one. Okay, and then we're putting glue on right up here and right down here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through that. It is a hanging over thing. Okay, and all this is supposed to fit in a regular A2 size card. So what I'm going to do is pull out a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, okay? And I'm just going to cut it straight down the middle. You won't see me doing that, but I'm just doing it off to the side so I don't have to drag stuff back and forth. So I'm cutting it down the middle at 4.25. And then that gives us half of that sheet, and we're just going to fold that in half, and it should fit in this regular size card. So now we have our little house. Now we're going to put tape on the roof of the house. Just that top part. Just this part right here. See where the tape is? And in the class that I took, she made us measure halfway and put a mark. If you want to do that, then do that and leave a mark, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna eyeball it up. Put it right in the center. And then on the roof of this house, we're gonna put some more tape. See where the shiny is, where the tape is, and then we're just gonna close it. And that's the mechanism. So this is where we're going to put this part that goes on the inside. So here's another place where she said that you could measure it. And I decided I don't want to measure it. But if you want to measure halfway exactly between this and this, right here somewhere, and make a mark, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to. I'm just going to eyeball it up. You want it in the center of this strip right here. Your mechanism strip, you want to put this right in the center. This was the 4-panel card, and we just closed the 2 doors, and we're going to put it right in the middle. So I'm just going to eyeball it up. And it's 3 inches wide, same as the mechanism, so you shouldn't have any problem. It shouldn't go, you know, be too tall or whatever. So we're going to put the glue. Now if you look at what I have here, we have glue in the top corner and the bottom corner. So we're going to put our glue right here. And I'm just using ATG tape because it totally works. So you can see where it's shiny here. We're not putting any on the bottom below that fold line. And then we're going to put some on this side. So now you can see that it's over here, but nothing beyond that fold line, nothing on the top. And then we're just going to open up the doors and glue them down. And then stick your fingers underneath here to make sure that mechanism is closing, and then close the card. And there you go. That was a long way around of doing something that takes you less than 5 minutes to create. And it just looks like it took you forever. Especially after you decorate it. I mean, I didn't decorate this. Hi, Marsha. The moment of truth. Guess what? We have an extra, total extra space there. And there's no hangy outie. For those of you who just came, I'm going to show you the hangy outie, okay? So like this part right here, my original directions on my video it made it too long. But this one we shortened up by an inch and it works perfectly. So I might have to redo my video because who's going to want to make that one? Although I'm just going to cut the edge off of that one. And I might just add a little extra something that hangs off the edge. But actually that fits almost exact. And all I did was just trim off this much. That's it. Just that little piece. And now it works. So here's the one I made in my actual video. Here's the one we made today. Ta-da! I love that wood paper, don't you? And in my video it goes, yeah! When you open it up, I can't imitate it, but it's funny. You should watch it. And then this is the one that I made at a class. This one feels super cool in the hand because, yes, Heidi, I will definitely redo the video. Because they've added extra layer of paper and it makes it a lot heavier of a card. Very substantial card. So in review, the mechanism stays the same. So if you watch my video, this is exactly the same. You don't change this at all. The only thing that you're going to change is the piece that goes on the inside right here, this piece. And instead of being 11 by 3, we cut off an inch and we made it 10 by 3. So it's 10 by 3, and I'll write this down with pencil here so I don't forget. So that piece ended up to be 10 by 3 instead of 11 by 3. And then we scored it differently too, right? 2.5, 5, and 7.5. 2.5, 5, and 7.5 for scoring. You can kind of see that. But I will definitely do a redo of that video. And I think when I redo the video, you guys, I will probably put in, I'll probably do one and do a full decoration of it. So I know there were others that really wanted me to do cards with, where did I hide it? I added this to my 5-minute card this week. The bubble technique, if you watched that video. And people wanted to see me do a card. So I did yesterday, was Wednesday, I did a 5-minute card. And here it is. So this is what I ended up with my 5-minute card yesterday. Just using scraps laying around on my table. And this is the piece of the bubble paper. It's really cool. And then these were the ones that I ended up having in the black. What stunned me the most is this one. I mean, all of them do, but this one is really, really crystal clear. This looks like a literal photocopy of bubbles. Like you slap some bubbles into a photocopy machine and made a physical copy of it. And I saw that on, I think, pretty sure I added whose video I found that from in the description box, but that's what stunned me when I saw her video. Was like, holy cow, that is amazing. I have to do it. And it turned out really cool. Thank you, Heidi. She says she loves the 5-minute cards. I do like doing the 5-minute cards, but I'm just like you. I work full time, 8 hours a day. And some days when I get home, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this video. Because normally when I'm doing videos, it's a weekend. I'm putzing around in my craft room. I'm getting everything ready. I do all the taping, and then I do a lot of putzing with the editing to make sure that I get that right. When I do my 5-minute cards, it's bang, bang, bang. I come home, I pull out all my stuff, I tape the video, I do the editing, simple editing, and then shoot it out like immediately as soon as I can. So it's just a slightly different animal on Wednesdays. And sometimes it just feels like I just don't want to have to do it all, but it always turns out fun. Try it at home when you're feeling like me, low mojo, you don't feel like doing anything. You pull out all of your crafts, all of your scraps, I mean, throw them on a desk and set a timer and see what comes out of you. And no, you're not really shooting for an awesome, excellent ending product. What you're shooting for is to force your brain to think in a different way than it normally would. Because we all tend to craft similar patterns. So, do you guys want me to go through all of the cards that I've done in the last 5-minute cards? I'll give you a second to. Hi, Claudette. So May says I'm gonna make one using tumbled glass. That would be interesting. I need a drink. I lost connection there for a second, so I'm hoping that it will come back online. And I think it did, although I might be kind of stopped right now. So I'm going to keep going because I believe this stream will just kind of fix itself. This is number 1 in a totally different space than what I'm used to. Let me adjust to where I'm going to hold these cards for you. Oh, Marsha, I hope it comes back for you. So number 1, I think he's adorable. I actually had him as a scrap on my table because I was going to go with a friend to a Basset Hound like convention type thing, and we were going to sell cards with Basset Hounds on them, but her son broke his leg and we couldn't go. So here's number 2. And this is an easel card. Add a little bit of blingy background paper there. I'm pretty sure I added these gems afterwards, because I don't think there were any gems laying on my desk at the time. But then there's some trim here, and I had a glue gun out. A lot of times I have a glue gun out, but this past, very most recent 5-minute card, I did not. I just used regular glue. This was number 3. And so there's some fun paper in the background. There's some glued on trim here. This is a guy that I just was playing around with. He is I think a Tim Holtz grunge something, and he has some copper on him, but if you look real close, it's cool looking, but the copper was almost overheated, I think, which is why it kind of sunk back into the paper, but it's awesome looking. I like that one. That was 3. This one's 4, and this was the one that I did backwards. I think I did another one upside down. I did not color her in 5 minutes. She was a scrap I had laying around that I hadn't used on a card. And then everything else was just paper and stuff that was glued on. And that was number 4. This was number 5. And I made a weird looking kind of like a handle to open up the gate. It's a gatefold. And then I added some buttons that I wasn't really sure went, but in the comments after the video, because of course I can't hear you guys screaming at me, would be nice. Um, they said that the buttons absolutely went, and you guys really liked that one. At least that was the consensus from most of the comments that I went through. That was 5. This was 6, and I had was doing something with tinfoil. I can't remember what, but I had a bunch of tinfoil on my desk. And I had a bunch of these like paper towels that I used to blot up stuff. So that was kind of cool. That turned out really neat. I glued some of that on. And then these feathers were from some project I made, but never quite finished, I think. And a little bird. So that turned out really neat. Of course, on the 5-minute cards, I never do the insides. They're always blank. Kay says, I've done cards backwards and it was not one that was done in a hurry. Too funny. It's because your creative brain took over and said, it's not important. They'll love it anyway. That was 6. This one is 7, where I took and I glued on several layers of this trim, and I really like that. This lace, that turned out pretty. I think that if I keep going with this, even though it says offline, when I come back online, it's still going to play what I'm saying here because I still see I'm streaming. So I'm going to keep going. This is a really thick, uh, like button, I don't know, a bunch of paper glued together. And then I think I did a video on this. And then it was glossy, what is it? Clear embossing powder over the top with gold underneath, something like that. Let's see if I can get it to clear up so you can see what it really looks like. Yeah, so you can see the gold underneath. That is really neat. But I popped that on, and then this hello was from a video that I did that is the carved wood technique. Here's a panel from that hello that I made. That is really cool. If you get a chance to go back, if you haven't seen the carved wood video, that was really fun. And then a couple little hearts, which I guess I almost forgot to glue the hearts on, so that was funny. And that was 7. And this is the one I did last night. This is number 8 with the bubble technique, which I showed a bunch of you guys in the beginning here. So here is some more of that bubble paper. And I have a video on that too if you want to know how to make it. So this was number 8. So Heidi wants to know, what do you use for card bases? Do you make your own or buy? I have a drawer full of 110-pound cardstock, and I make my own. So just like we did in the card that I made tonight, this is half of a piece of cardstock, and I use 110-pound because I like how thick it is. And then I just fold them in half, and that's how I get my card bases. I do have pre-made card bases, and I use those sometimes too. I used to use them a lot more before I figured out just kind of what I liked and what my style was, and so I use this the most now. Great question. Thank you for bringing up a question. Yeah, the carved wood is really cool. You know what? Try it with other inks besides the brown, because I've seen some people try that with other colors, like do a light green or a pink or a, I don't know, this is just what's popping in my brain, and then do the white over it. Although you want it kind of a bright color so that when the white goes over the top, that it's a real definite, what do I want to say? It's it's a real contrast. That's the word I was looking for. You really want it to contrast so that it stands out. This is the one that we're talking about. So when that white goes over the top, that you can see the contrast of that really well. So you could use like a light pink and a dark pink, or a light pink and a light blue and a dark blue. I think that would look really cool too. Could totally do that. We could do a piece of this. How much time do I have? I have like 15 minutes left. You want to see this one done too? Yes, Catherine Taylor. Thank you. Contrast. That's what I was looking for. Whew, sheesh. The bubble thing, you can use any cardstock. It doesn't matter. I use 110 pound for everything. So yes, totally works. Let's do one of these. Just because I have some paper here and we totally can do that. Let me just cut this one in half and move this, whoa, because before I tear down the house. Right? And the only thing that you have to do before you get started with the ink is just put your lines in here. Let me see if I can get this out of the way so it doesn't keep moving on you. I'm sure that's got to be annoying. There. I did every ½ inch. So just take a piece of white paper, whatever size you want. This is a regular A2 size card front is what I'm using, 5.5 by 4.25. And I'm just scoring mine every ½ inch. And actually when I did my video, I cut this last piece off because it's not quite a ½ inch because it's 4.25. So you can cut that part off, that's fine. But I think I'll probably trim it down anyway. So just because we've already done in my other video, browns, let's try a different color. Let's try 2 different colors of blue. I gotta reach over you and find the blue here. So how about tumbled glass? That's a lighter one. And then salty ocean, because that's a darker one. I think I have an even darker one, but these are my little ones and they're close by. In my video, I used really big ink pads, not this kind of ink pad. But let's just play around, see what we get. So you just drag it down and it makes it look like wood, not pressing super hard. And that's what you get. And that was, what did I say? Tumbled glass. I ordered the 110-pound cardstock online from Amazon.com, and it is either from Wassa Papers or, let me see what I have in here right now. Nina. Right now I have Nina. So here's the dark blue. That's cool. I like that. That one was Salty Ocean. So here are the 2 colors I used. What? Tumbled glass, Salty Ocean. I label all mine on the front like this because they all sit in front of me stacked up and I can't see what they are. So I label them all on the front. I did that with all of my little inks. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like this too. Let's keep going with that. We still have some time, right? Heck, the beginning of these videos are always so rocky. It seems like we get into more of the fun stuff once we get rolling. Rocking and rolling. Okay, now after you get those 2 down, you run it through an embossing folder. And so here's one. Let's see, we can do something different this time. Let me just pull. Do you guys want to? I'll let you vote. So I've got this one that looks like little, I don't know, blocks all put together. This is the one I did last time, so we won't do that one again. This might be kind of interesting to see. One that's got bubbles all over it. I don't know. Start typing as soon as you guys get around to seeing this. What you'd like to see, and this might be kind of fun. This grassy stuff going back and forth. So those three, which one? Well, you guys can vote, and then I'll run that through. I know we're lagged a little bit, so I'll wait for you guys to comment on that, and then we'll get started on it. And I'm going to use the same white I used in my video, which hopefully I remember the right one. I'm almost positive I used Colonial White. But I also have White Daisy. You know what I just thought of, you guys? I did not use Tim Holtz Distress inks when I did that. I did Close to My Heart ink. So guess what? This might really react and look cool. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think I used Colonial White, but I also have White Daisy, because I used this kind of ink in my video. So we'll have to see how the Tim Holtz does on here. So I got 1 vote for bubbles and 1 vote for bubbles or blacks. And 1 for blacks. Uh-oh, half and half. Okay, half and half. Bubbles and blocks. It's our show, right? We can do whatever we want. I'll do half bubbles and half blocks. So we want to go upside down. Okay, thank you guys for helping out the other ones who are having a problem where things are stopping and starting where they shouldn't. So half bubbles and half blocks. I wonder if you guys can hear all the crinkling and cracking as I run it through here. So here are the bubbles. And then I'll run the other half through the blocks. And then we'll see what we get. And I think it'll turn out really cool. So here are the blocks. Blocks and the bubbles. And I'll try the Colonial White first. We'll see how that works. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Look at that. I'm getting a little bit of blue on my ink pad, but not much. Now that you see it done, which one do you like the best? I'm trying to hold my breath because when I move, it makes the camera lose its focus. Drives me nuts. There we go. I do too. The bubbles caught my eye the best. But I do like the blacks too. I'll probably use them both on a card. That turned out really cool. Bubbles. Let me wipe this up. The white will take a long time to dry. White ink just does. So I will leave that out for some time to dry up so that I can use it on a project later. But do you see how I got a little bit of blue on my white ink? And that's, you can hardly see it. And that's just because, I'm just going to wipe it off. That's because I used Tim Holtz Distress inks, I think. These are the ones I used last time, and these are close to my heart inks. I used to sell close to my heart, so I've had these forever, and they still work. The blocks, yes, I totally agree. The blocks might look better with just another color. Absolutely, like maybe your reds, right? Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes left. What I'd like to know from you guys, for those of you who are in the Quality Crafts page on Facebook, what's going well? What would you like to see more of? I know right now I'm going to repeat myself a little bit because the holidays are coming, and I know people are just jam-packed full of stuff to do. And so signing up for things and having too much stuff come at you is just makes everyone crazy. Oh, scoreboards are fun. Yeah, try another light color, Catherine. I don't think you have to do white. It's just that white was a great contrast, so I stuck with it. And I'm getting that we're offline again. I'm not sure why. Why does it go on and off? I don't get it. It's hard for me to show you things in succession if they keep cutting me off. Here's another idea. With the last 5 minutes, you guys tell me what's better, YouTube Live or Facebook Live? Because I've done one of each now. I'm almost thinking of going back to Facebook just because I think more people have access to that. Try not to get overwhelmed. Is there too much going on? Okay, too many things going on, or you're new or you don't understand what we're doing? How can I help you better to not feel overwhelmed? Because that's a crappy place to be. I don't like to feel overwhelmed. And just know that after these live sessions end, if you want to get back to me and if you want to PM me anytime regarding Quality or my YouTube channel, you go right ahead. I'll answer as many of you as I can when I'm around. Again, I'm gone during the day because I work full time, but I'm usually in front of my computer in the evenings. Let me try turning my volume up just a tad. How's that? Let me know if me turning my volume up messed you guys up, because I turned it down because I was getting reverberating sounds spiraling over and over on a lot of feedback, I guess you could say. I wish I knew if this image came out already. I'd like to show it to you guys. Yeah, May, I thought that might happen to you. I'm sorry. So adjust volume as needed. Should have a warning. Warning, adjust volume as needed. Bye, Heidi. Thank you. Catherine says, I also have chronic diseases. What did I miss? Oh, here, okay. You're okay, so you're back to K. I'm new and I have chronic illness, so I can only do a few things at a time. Yeah, so don't ever feel overwhelmed. Quality Crafts is a place where you sign up for and do what you can when you can. Okay? There are weekly challenges that are never required. If you want to join in on a weekly challenge because you have the time, that's how I run. That's how I operate. You will not see me joining in my own challenges every single week because I simply don't have time in my schedule to do every single one. Although I try to because it's my page, but you know, I have a life too. So The swaps go out, I believe, once a month. So if you can't join in that month, then you sit out and you wait for the next month, or you wait until something comes along that's super exciting to you. Like, I don't find every swap and every challenge exciting. So I only do the ones that I know that I will enjoy. You want to join one, but you don't know how. Which one, May? You want to join a swap or a challenge? Let me know which one and I'll explain it. Or I could explain both, I suppose. So swaps are listed underneath the files, and you click on the one that you want. Okay, so you want to do a challenge. All right. Challenges run from Sunday to Sunday, and they're underneath a file, and it always says weekly challenge ending blah blah date. All right. And then within that file, it gives you a link to the album where you place your challenge card. So you find if the challenge is something that you want to do, you make the card. All right. And then you go back to that same file, find the link to the album, go to the album, and then post your card in the album. And that's it. That you don't have to send anything to anyone. And then you're automatically in the drawing if your picture's in the album. Let me know if that was clear, May, and if you need to know if you have other questions. Swaps are kind of the same way, except for swaps are something that you physically have to send something to someone else. So I'm just reading back through all the comments that you guys did to see if I missed anybody. Some of you guys might be new to my channel, but I've done several videos on the fact that I have chronic kidney disease and I have been transplanted. And a lot of people think that, oh, you've been transplanted, you're cured, that's awesome. I'm not really cured. Um, I had about 20% function of one. I only have one kidney because they removed one while I was little. I only had 20% of function of my kidney when I found out I had the disease. And I went on dialysis when I was down to about 9 or 10%. Now I have an implant. I've had it for like 2.5 years. This February will be 3, so almost 3 years. And I now have 30% function and still just one kidney. So it's a band-aid, albeit an excellent one, because I would not want to go back to dialysis, even though I know it will happen. But I understand chronic disease very well, very, very well, which is one of the reasons why I don't require anything on the quality page, because even if you don't have a chronic disease, you have a chronic life. Life is chronic, people. There's stuff that pops up all the time, and join in when you can. We're happy when you do. We love it when you do. And when you can't, nobody's going to shame you or poo-poo you because you didn't join in. Because there's no participation police at the Quality Crafts. All right, so I'm going to leave you there. It's about almost 5 after 7. I know we got started a little bit earlier because my lapse time says 1 hour, 12 minutes. But it seems to me that YouTube Live always takes a total of 10 to 15 minutes to even itself out. So what I would really, really like is if you go back over to Quality Crafts, let me know whether or not you'd like me to go back to trying Facebook Live or whether you really enjoy doing YouTube Live. And my apologies. As soon as I'm getting my feet wet now, and as soon as I get my, what do they call that? As soon as I get my sea feet, my land feet, I don't know. let me know. Let me know as soon as I get this figured out. I will be better at leaving links, letting you know way ahead of time when these live things are going to happen and all that good stuff so we get more and more people joined in. Because I think then the chat will be just that much more exciting. So I will leave you with I just cannot wait to see you guys next video. Thanks for joining me.